Hey Stephen, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's first of all take a look at your posture, which looks great. Spine's nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you, and the golf club works out to the ball. So achieving a really good posture here, association with really good balance, looks wonderful. Let's also go ahead and observe your alignment. We see that your feet are aiming a little to the right. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel. Your feet, parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge. And under that scenario, we can see you're aimed right at the edge of the right side of the fairway where it meets the right rough. Therefore, we're going to see some form of compensation in your golf swing that's going to try and get the ball back to the center of the fairway. So you're either going to swing the club on plane, flip the hands, start the ball at the red flag or just inside of it, impart right to left spin, and be able to draw or hook the ball back towards the yellow flag and the intended target. Or you're going to attack the ball from outside to inside, and then you're going to try and pull the ball back on line. We'll get a sense of what you do here in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. You can see we got some color-coded lines here up on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing playing. As Jordan initiates his takeaway, creates good shoulder rotation, bringing his arms and hands back as well as the club, and we want to see the club coming back along the red line on plane. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, we want to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands. Sorry, actually I got you going here. So let's put you back at address and let's get Jordan Spieth going here as indicated. As I was pointing out, in the early stages of golf swing, we also want to transition the club head from being currently below and in front of our hands to moving above and behind, all the while keeping the club on the red line. From this point, we're going to work the golf club now from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the left arm of the golf club situated either on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue, as we can see with Jordan Spieth. We also want to create full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right leg. Let's go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway now. We can see as you draw the golf club back, that your hands come back with good shoulder rotation. Sorry, let me back this up for a second. Let's get that going in slow motion. So club's coming back on a pretty decent swing plane. Club gets a little bit inside right now. As long as we get some wrist hinge back into play, club will recover. Still a little bit laid off here. At this point in time, looks like we're sort of working the arms a little bit too much up, as opposed to trying to continue to work the arms possibly back a little bit more shallow. So when we finally get set here, we can see that right arm sort of compresses, forearms compressing the bicep, the right elbow flies. Left arm's in pretty decent position, but we sort of lose control over the golf club a bit. You've turned your shoulders well, about a very stable right side, maintaining your posture axis that you achieved. So everything looks pretty good. I'd like to just try and maintain a little bit more arm extension, and also try and shallow out your arms as much as possible in your case to help you come into the ball a little bit more from on plane. Now remember, we'd already stated that you were set up to hit the golf ball out to the right. Probably going to see some form of a compensation to pull the ball back to the left, and that compensation is going to be that you come over the top. So unlike what we see with Jordan Spieth, drives his weight from his right foot to his left, fires his knees and hips laterally to the target, unwinds his core and fires his hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from the blue-yellow V zone, wherever we set it, back down onto red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. We can see the golf club has returned back to on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone. And this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone his ability also to hit the ball straight due to the fact that we've already mentioned that the club has returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in order to produce straight golf shots. As we create your transition down to the ball, as stated, you're going to come over the top, hands travel down yellow. out towards blue. As your hands create that over the top move, you're really going to fight to try and keep the club head behind your hands for power. So we can see here at this point in time, if we look at the relationship between your lead form and your golf club, nice thing is we got your backwards check mark. So creating some power in the golf swing won't be an issue. But the golf club is not returning back to plane, so hitting the ball straight in accordance to our alignment is. Therefore, as we continue to track into the golf ball, we're going to watch the club continue to come into the ball too steep from over the top, and that's ultimately going to cause you to attack the ball from outside to inside. If we go ahead and connect the dots here, I had a little higher speed camera like they do on TV, we can see that that's the descending plane, as opposed to what we see with Jordan Spieth, his golf club returning back to plane here. That would be your frame here. And then in his case, that golf club simply comes into the ball directly from the red line, not from over top and outside, as we see with you. Therefore, he's going to be able, as already mentioned, to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment, lastly assuming the club face squares up via having a good grip. Seeing that the downswings are vastly different, we can now take a look at the pass of the golf club. You can see with Jordan, his club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact and moving through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club's too much directly behind the ball, dropping down and across. So there we are contacting the ball, but watch where it goes on the way through. The club moves through in this direction. Therefore, if we happen to square the club face up to this path, you will have the ability to pull the golf shot back to the left. And as already stated, we expected that to be a compensation due to the fact that we're aiming out to the right. So therefore, you're simply attacking the ball from outside to inside to try and pull the ball back online. If the timing's on, you'll hit what I refer to as a pull straight shot, or a subtle pull fade or subtle pull draw. But if we happen to over-release the club to this yellow path, we'll hit a physical pull draw or pull hook. If we under-release the club to the same path, we'll hit some form of a pull slice. But again, like I said, if the timing's on, we'll hit that pull straight shot or subtle pull fade or subtle pull draw. That's not going to hurt us too much. At point of impact, I like the fact that your right heel's off the ground, just like Jordan's. Let's watch your continued activity through to your finish. See if you get fully up on your toe, which you pretty much do. So you're carrying yourself through a pretty nice finishing position. Looks good. Overall, you got some nice athletic qualities with your golf swing. Your hands work great. They come back and they fire through. Your core works well. You coil and you uncoil. You got decent enough footwork that allows you to get yourself through to a finish. As stated, your posture and balance is fantastic. But if we want consistency, there's three things we need. We have to aim well. Feet have to run parallel left of our target. The club has to return down to plane. And then we have to square the face up. In your case, we can see you're aiming to the right. That causes this over-the-top move, attacking the ball from outside to inside, trying to pull the ball back to the left. At that point in time, you've got to compensate with the club face, and therefore we're missing all three criteria in order to produce straight golf shots and create consistency. Anyways, if at any point in time you ever like to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville, where the event was held, obviously. I'd be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, certainly feel free to reach out. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a fabulous day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing here.